One might say to themselves, why does a guy at 41 years old who couldn't play against the San Antonio Spurs because allegedly he had a bad ankle and couldn't go? We know what he's really doing, folks. He's waiting to play against lesser opponents so he can stat pad because that's what he does.
Craig Carton unleashed a scathing criticism of LeBron James, accusing him of chasing stats against the Mavericks after sitting out the Spurs game because of injury concerns. With the Lakers comfortably ahead by 16 points and only 3 minutes remaining, LeBron stayed on the floor, even grabbing a rebound that appeared destined for his own teammate just to lock in a triple-double. To make matters even more questionable, JJ Redick reportedly called a timeout to ensure Austin Reaves didn't collect another rebound before LeBron reached the milestone. For a 41-year-old NBA legend, Carton argued, that kind of stat hunting is simply embarrassing.
LeBron James is a fraud. LeBron James, once again, proves that he's a pat-standing clown and should never again ever be mentioned in the same breath as the greats who have ever played this great game that we call National Basketball Association basketball.
Do you believe LeBron is guilty of padding his stats and putting personal milestones ahead of the team? Or do you think Craig Carton is blowing the situation out of proportion, criticizing a basketball icon for making history? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
Oh, look at LeBron James. Oh, this guy have a triple-double. Funny how his ankle wasn't good enough for him to play the night before against the San Antonio Spurs, but in a night when you have no Cooper Flag and the Mavericks are a bad basketball team with half their roster out, LeBron James not only plays, and obviously played very well last night.
LeBron remained on the floor during a lopsided game when most believed he should have already been resting. The Lakers had complete control against the Mavericks, holding a 16-point lead with just over 3 minutes left on the clock. The outcome was essentially decided. There was no real basketball reason for the starters to still be out there, especially a 41-year-old player reportedly dealing with an ankle issue. Yet LeBron never checked out. According to the criticism, there was one simple reason. He was chasing one more rebound to complete a triple-double. He already had the scoring and assist totals locked in. All that remained was a single rebound to reach the milestone and spark headlines about becoming the oldest player in NBA history to post a triple-double. And that's where the situation becomes even more controversial.
Against the Mavericks, I want you to walk me through this. LA Lakers up by 16 points, 3 minutes and change to go. Mavericks miss a shot, and Austin Reaves gets a rebound, and everybody starts yelling at him because that should have been LeBron's rebound to get the triple-double.
Austin Reaves did exactly what any player is coached to do. He secured a defensive rebound. The next step was simple. Hold possession, let the clock run, and finish off the win. But instead of that being the end of it, teammates immediately started shouting in his direction. Why? Because that rebound was expected to go to LeBron. According to the criticism, everyone on the floor seemed aware that LeBron was staying in the game to complete his triple-double, and by grabbing the board himself, Reaves had unknowingly disrupted that plan simply by making the correct basketball play.
After Austin Reaves gets that rebound, JJ Redick actually calls a timeout. Now, I'm thinking they're calling a timeout to get all the starters out of the game because you're up by 16, 3 minutes to go. The game is a wrap. That's not why he called timeout. He called timeout so that they could tell Austin Reaves, no more rebounds. You stole a rebound from LeBron, and LeBron's not coming out of the game until he gets a triple-double. Because, again, it's not about his well-being. It's not about protecting him for a playoff run. It's about stat padding. We got to make sure LeBron gets one more rebound so that he gets a triple-double, and then we'll take him out of the game.
Then came an even more surprising moment. JJ Redick called a timeout. With the Lakers holding a comfortable 16-point lead and only 3 minutes left, the game was effectively over. Using a timeout in that situation immediately raised eyebrows. Most coaches would use that opportunity to pull their starters, let the reserves finish the game, and avoid exposing key players to unnecessary injury. That's the standard approach once the outcome is no longer in doubt. But according to the criticism, that wasn't the purpose of a timeout. The claim is that Redick used the break to make one thing clear. Austin Reaves needed to stop taking rebounds. The message, as critics describe it, was simple. LeBron wasn't leaving the floor until he secured his triple-double, so everyone else should back off and let him collect that final board. Don't fight too hard for rebounds. Don't chase every loose ball. Just allow LeBron to grab the last rebound so the milestone is complete and the game can finally end.
Not healthy enough to play against the Spurs, healthy enough to play against the Mavericks without Cooper Flagg, and wouldn't come out of the game up by 16, 3 minutes and change to go until he does what? Until his stat pads, gets the extra rebound, which he stole from Hayes on his own team so that he could get the triple-double. Now let's call another timeout. Let's get him out of the game so everybody can celebrate that at 41 years old, he's good enough to get a triple-double.
Critics have called the entire sequence disappointing from everyone involved. LeBron, now 41 years old and reportedly managing an ankle issue, is leading a team that's battling for playoff position. At this stage of the season, every game carries weight, and every opportunity to rest can make a difference. The Lakers' biggest priority should be keeping their superstar healthy for the stretch run and, ideally, a deep playoff push. Instead, the criticism is that personal milestones appear to take precedence over the team's bigger picture. Rather than heading to the bench, LeBron remained on the floor in pursuit of another triple-double to add to his already remarkable resume. According to this viewpoint, JJ Redick also played a role by allowing it to happen. Rather than removing his franchise player from a game that was already decided and reducing the risk of injury, he allegedly left him in to chase. An individual accomplishment. Critics argue that's poor coaching, claiming it places personal legacy ahead of what's best for the team in the long run.
But the reality is this. It was on display last night. You can choose not to see it. You can choose to change the narrative of it.
What narrative?
That was another abuse of stat padding by your self-appointed GOAT.
Craig Carton believes this latest controversy reveals a larger pattern. According to him, LeBron James sat out against the Spurs because of an ankle issue, then returned to face a weakened Mavericks team missing its biggest star. Critics argue that if the injury was truly serious, the opponent shouldn't have mattered. Instead, they believe it looked like LeBron skipped the tougher matchup and returned for the easier one, where he could put up impressive numbers. The accusations of stat padding aren't new. For years, some critics have claimed LeBron has stayed in blowout games to reach personal milestones. This situation drew even more attention because he reportedly played extended minutes despite recently sitting out with an injury. To those critics, that raises questions about whether the absence was really about health or simply choosing the most favorable matchup. Supporters argue that LeBron is 41 years old and still producing elite performances, which is remarkable in itself. They also believe he's earned the right to chase historic milestones after more than 2 decades in the NBA. Critics, however, respond that individual achievements should never come before the team's best interests, especially when playoff positioning and player health are on the line. The discussion also reignited comparisons with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Critics claim those stars didn't remain in decided games to chase statistics, instead allowing the bench to finish once the outcome was secure. Whether or not that comparison is completely fair, it continues to fuel the debate surrounding LeBron's legacy. Another issue raised is JJ Redick's role as head coach. Some believe he should have removed LeBron from the game once the Lakers had a comfortable lead instead of allowing him to remain on the floor. Others argue that coaching a superstar like LeBron comes with unique challenges because of his influence within the organization. Critics also point to what they see as a double standard. They note that players like Russell Westbrook were heavily criticized for chasing triple-doubles, while LeBron's milestone is often celebrated as another historic accomplishment. That difference in public perception has only added more fuel to the debate. The moment that generated the most criticism came immediately after LeBron secured his final rebound and completed the triple-double. He checked out of the game shortly afterward, leading critics to argue that his extended playing time was about reaching the milestone rather than helping the team close out the win. Craig Carton's conclusion is straightforward. He believes LeBron prioritized another personal record over resting for the playoffs and that the entire sequence reflected individual legacy management rather than team-first basketball. Whether fans agree or disagree, the incident has sparked another heated debate about LeBron's priorities and his place in NBA history. Hit like and subscribe for more NBA debates and basketball analysis.